Ladies and gentlemen, we have some breaking news heading into the weekend around Nintendo and their Switch 2 launch. I was just hanging out. I was literally just playing Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, and I get a message and it's like, "Well, you're gonna want to check this out, especially since you're someone who is looking to get a Switch 2 at launch, maybe another one to do teardowns and stuff on." We're not really sure what's happening right now, but it appears the pre-orders aren't going live when we thought, and it's the reason a lot of people were concerned could be brought up here. And this is about to get wild for Nintendo over the next couple of months heading into that launch. We'll go over that here, though, guys. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new. As I mentioned, try to keep everyone up to date as much as possible, I'm sure, along with a bunch of other people, as news is breaking all over the place for the Switch 2. So make sure you subscribe if you're trying to keep up with a lot of the Switch 2 stuff. So just in case you're unaware, although I'm sure if you were thinking about getting the Switch 2, you were already honing in on a certain date, as Nintendo did share it in the big press releases. The press release went over everything about the Switch 2 after the Direct had aired. We were looking at April 9th, though. That was when pre-orders would be going live in North America for participating retailers, and we started to hear different ways these retailers were going to attack the pre-order and distribution of the Switch 2, from just being able to order online through a mobile app with accessories being in store, just everything being in store. My plan was to try multiple spots, but GameStop was probably going to be my primary one, since they were just going to do in-store outright. And I'd rather show up in person because I know there's not going to be a virtual bot next to me trying to jump in line. At least not yet. We'll see when the robot revolution happens, if I'm lining up for the Switch 4 or something and there's a robot waiting in line too. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Anyway, as of now, however, it does not appear to be the case. April 9th, at least for now, is off the table, as Nintendo just put a press release out there to different outlets like literally 30 minutes ago. In it, they say, pre-orders for Nintendo Switch 2 in the US will not start April 9th, 2025 in order to assess the potential impact of tariffs and evolving market conditions. Nintendo will update timing at a later date. The launch date of June 5th, 2025 is unchanged. So here's the immediate concern, okay? Because the idea was the system was going to launch at $449.99, $450 in the US. Again, that's what we're covering right now in the US. And at that point, it seemed pretty straightforward. Of course, you could go to the Mario Kart World bundle for $500, but we had the prices at least figured out. And again, I was expecting $450. It's right where I thought it would be. I think in the world of PC gaming handhelds, it's actually well priced, okay, for the hardware. The problem now is Nintendo did try to do things to get around the potential impact of tariffs. They're saying here specifically, tariffs and evolving market conditions is why they have delayed the pre-orders. And the reason for that is they might have to raise the price. And that is the crazy thing right now, is how much would they have to raise the price? What are we talking in terms of cost for this system? Well, if we look at, there were a lot of concerns around this heading into it, sure. Like Forbes had wrote about it, the idea of Nintendo trying to figure out ways around this. So, for example, they announced in 2019 it would move much of its Switch production facilities to Vietnam in an effort to avoid tariffs on China. That was a big thing then. China was getting hit with tariffs, and it was just more costly then. The idea was, anyway, to manufacture there and send over here, or even get just parts and supplies and stuff from there. The problem we run into now is Vietnam is getting hit with a bunch of tariffs as well. This is kind of a reciprocal tariffs chart, and I gotta say, when I look into this, because I'm like curious, obviously, because it's going to affect the tech industry, okay? And that means that, well, for me, who covers electronics and video games and tech, yes, that is going to come into play. And it's unfortunate because it's like, okay, here comes politics smashing into the video game hobby. And it's like, you can't really do much about it because now it is directly affecting this. I mean, we've had the pre-orders delayed now for the Switch 2. And to me, at that point, if Nintendo is just outright saying it there, makes me think that there's going to be pretty serious effects on PlayStation and Xbox as well. Good luck to the video card market. My gosh, it's already like it's been hit with how many markups now in the last 15 years, it feels like. Hopefully you have a video card you're happy with for the next 5-6 years. Anyway, these are the current tariffs and everything. They have Vietnam set up at 46% right now. And that's what I mean. Nintendo kind of thought they were figuring it out. They were navigating this. Oh, we'll move production around. And apparently they have already sent hundreds of thousands of systems, Switch 2 systems, to the US. And that's been going on for a little while now. The problem isn't necessarily those systems. It's future systems. So if they price the Switch 2 now at $450, we'll say, but they have to raise the price. I'm just throwing a number out there. I don't know exactly. I mean, we see 46% here, but parts come from different ends of the world, and so who knows how much it would really come out to. Let's say they have to raise the price $100. This makes it easier in terms of math. Now we're at $550. Well, it's harder to do that after you've already released it at, say, $450, right? Like, it's just more difficult. Now, one of the reasons I think Nintendo isn't saying much else currently is because it is a very fluid situation right now with these tariffs. As, for example, this is over on the Bangkok Post. They say that Vietnam's trade ministry has asked the Trump administration to put on hold its planned 46% tariff on imported Vietnamese products and engage in further negotiations, which, sure, people are trying to figure out the extent of the tariffs, what kind of effect they'll have, but, like, the idea of, oh, is this mostly a negotiation tactic? And if that is the case, then, okay, Nintendo could be putting these pre-orders in place to see if maybe some of these tariffs are changed or pulled back because of negotiations like this, for example, with the Vietnam's trade ministry. And that's kind of the issue now. We don't really know. We're in this holding pattern, basically, at this point, with just this, and it's really funny. This is the most transparent we've had from Nintendo about pricing and stuff for the Switch 2, and it's all about delaying the pre-order, right? Like, people are still asking about the $80 game with Mario Kart World, and, like, in this case, the most we've heard from Nintendo is that pre-orders are currently being put on hold or delayed. Now, this could end up being a week delay, so, 2 weeks from now, we could be looking back and be like, oh, yeah, they only had to delay it a few days or something like that. I see constant information pop up around tariffs, and I have to imagine, like, more than half of it's probably just misinformation being thrown around, but it's just how the internet and social media is now. But really, it just comes down to, is this a situation where, yeah, our electronics are going to get 30% more expensive, 40% more expensive? We're not sure, and it seems like that's the biggest thing currently, is it's almost a guessing game right now with the tariffs. Electronics, they're already being viewed as getting a bit expensive now, right? I mean, $450 for Nintendo that's pricey, especially with where they try to position their systems kind of at that more general audience family setting. Can you imagine Nintendo trying to sell a $600 Switch 2? And then also, is the PS5 Pro going to become a $1,000? These are all questions people have right now because it's really unclear. So it is unfortunate because the pre-order stuff already was going to be mayhem. Now it's going to be mayhem times like 2, or it's going to be something else. But I will keep you guys up to date on this evolving situation, of course, in Newswave, and just going forward with breaking news like this around Switch 2 pre-orders, pricing, and apparently tariffs. It's unfortunate. It's one thing to be like, oh, keep the politics over here, the games over here. Now it's like, what do? They're just affecting the games themselves, pricing, and even timing when it comes to just trying to get an order in for one of these things. But let me know what you guys think about this down below in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time.